first natural question is, were you at all surprised to see a true freshman quarterback named the starter?
No, because based on what he did, the way he did things, how he earned it, no. I mean, it's one of those things that as we talked about it and watched practice and our discussions about it back and forth, you could see it. I mean, Devin did a great job, did some really good things, but at the end of the day, you really have to, say Jaron really stood out. He really did. There's a different type of energy and vibe that you felt when he was out there with the guys. Where when you watch Devin, you see a guy that's a game manager, does a very nice job, has the ability to make plays. But with Devin, there was a little something that was different, and you could feel it, and you could see it.
Do you feel like he has the ability to process at a speed high enough to avoid typical freshman mistakes?
I do. I think so. He had a lot to learn, but I believe coming in January like he did, and being all the way through spring ball and right into the into June and July with his teammates, bonding, being around those guys, working together, I think that really helped him. And I also think working with a guy like Devin, having him around, listening to him, following his example, I think it helped him, help his development and growth.
How much input did you have in that decision?
Part of the discussion. Coach asked a lot of questions, talked to a lot of us. We gave him our opinions, gave him our feedback. One thing we talked about was the timing of the decision, and I agreed with him. I told him, doing it the week before the week of was very important, and because he did it now, we get to answer all those questions. That way next week, getting ready for Oregon State, the focus is only on Oregon State, and I thought that was a really good idea. That was a positive move by Coach.
So that was the idea as far as announcing it now, was to have that time to sort of deal with that stuff?
Deal with that stuff, and also give the team an opportunity to digest it as well. This isn't just about one or two players. This is about the team, and that was one of the things that Justin and I felt very strongly about. And again, I agreed with every decision that was made in this matter.
He is obviously a very highly touted recruit. What about his talent and his game do you think makes him so special?
I think there's some unique things that he does. I think he has the ability to make any pass that needs to be made. The reason I said it is because of his arm strength, his athleticism. He has the ability to throw off platform very well, throws on the move very well. I think a lot of it has to do with the style of football he plays. You watch him from his high school days. You see those things. You see him moving the pocket. You see him outside of the pocket. You see him climbing the pocket to make the throw downfield. Those are the things that guys like him coming into where he is help you make those decisions. That this is a guy you can give the opportunity to because he earned it.
Coach Wilcox was talking about his demeanor and said he's kind of the same every single day. How much have you seen that, and how much is that important to have for a freshman quarterback?
Doesn't look like much shakes him up right now. It really doesn't. I mean, obviously you won't know until the games start for real, and Oregon State's going to be a tremendous test, not just for him but for the whole team. I think that you see him stay very steady, very calm, especially in some of the practices. There's been some interesting situations where if he goes outside of himself, the players would feel that, but he doesn't. He stays within the framework of what coaches are trying to get across. I think he and Coach Harsin have really developed a rapport. I think he and Coach Rolovich have worked well together, and I think him working with the other guys has been good as well. And that's what you really want. You want a guy that's going to have questions, that's going to come in and make comments and decisions, and be part of those discussions. You're already seeing that from this young man.
What's your sense about how Devin's dealing with the disappointment of not being able to start?
Well, he's disappointed, obviously, and you would expect that, especially from a highly competitive guy. But you also know that he understands that, hey, there may be a chance he's going to be called upon. He's got to be ready. So we really appreciate that. And so we'll see how it all unfolds as we continue to go through this. But, everybody in this team is going to get an opportunity to show what he can do.
Did he come in with his undergraduate degree, or is he finishing that at Cal?
I believe he's finishing that here. So it's he's a sharp young man, very bright, and opportunities will come.
What would you consider a successful season for Cal this year?
Well, there are three metrics we're going to be measured. Okay, the first metric is going to be butts in the seats. Second metric is going to be eyeballs on the TV. Those are real important, and then obviously winning and losing.
So what would you consider successful in those regards?
I think anything that puts us in a solid bowl game, 8-9 wins, I think that's what you're looking for. That shows growth from last year. Last year we didn't win the close games. We got to win the close games. We want to win 8 or 9. We got to win those close games for sure. And last year, that's how close it was. You lose 3 by 1 point, 1 by 6 at the end of the game. That's disappointing. But we all understand that, and we know that the clock's ticking. There's a lot of pressure to be successful, especially in today's climate. And so for us, it is putting ourselves in position where we can win those games.
How about crowd? Do you have what would be successful in those
By the
times?
time the season's over, it's filled. That's the goal. The goal is to win, generate some momentum, generate some enthusiasm, capture the East Bay. And I'm going to say this too: us and Stanford have to capture the Bay. We really do. This is one of the largest TV markets in the NFL. Okay, everybody understands it. That's why Cal and Stanford go together, because we capture this together. We own this together. We become very desirable. We support the ACC, and everybody recognizes the ACC has the Bay Area. That's what we have to create. We've got to create that, and that's the truth. I mean, so if people ask me, well, what can we do? Show up. Well, we can bring your friends. What can we do? Watch us on television. I mean, that's the bottom line. And then obviously, if you feel generous enough, make an investment. Help us. I mean, that's the truth. And we have that. We have the ability, but we also need the support.
How would you assess the program's current relationship with East Bay sports fandom?
Not good enough.
Sure.
Very bluntly, not good enough.
Okay.
Okay, there was a time where you could easily see 55, 60,000, even in the lean years. My first 2 years were very lean. Joe Cap shows up, we win a couple of big games, all of a sudden we do this 5 laterals and the trombone, and next thing you know, we're packed. That's what our ability is. If we didn't learn anything from game day last year, we wasted an opportunity. That's what the Chancellor's trying to build on. That's what the Chancellor really thinks we need to do. And reaching out to our alumni, our donors, our fans, and tell them, hey, we understand your frustration. That's why we're making a commitment. That's why he's making a commitment to athletics. I think everybody has to understand that, Stanford and Cal, we have over 30 intercollegiate sports, okay? 27 Olympic sports. So if you look at that and you say, wow, that's a lot. Well, it is a lot. We understand the responsibility, because if you look at it, we could have been our own countries in the top 10 of medals being won from the student athletes that we had at Cal and Stanford. So that's the thing we have to look at. That's our responsibility as a football team, is to help support and be part of funding our own athletic departments. And that gives us the reason why we have to be relevant and beyond relevant.
What's your reason why?
Yeah.
Copy.
Do any Cal players have NIL deals?
Nothing outside of revenue share as of now, I believe. But again, I'm just getting into all of this and learning all of this stuff. But right now, we're working ourselves towards our number, and as we go forward, we're in a good place.
So it's just revenue share at this point.
Yeah, we're in a really good place.
How have you enjoyed this job so far?
I love it. I enjoy the heck out of it. I get frustrated with it. Some of the hardest things has been trying to deal with some of the young men that feel that they should move on. And you try to get them to understand that there's a legacy here that you've created. You've had an opportunity to create, and it'd be great to have you see you finished and complete that legacy here. But I get it. When the money's being waved at guys, but I do think it's not necessarily about money now as much as it's about money later. You can build it up eventually if you do things the right way. And one thing everybody understands, you're not going to play football forever. And so you have to have something to fall back on.
Are you talking spring or off season, or are you talking currently? Retaining these guys? Is
Oh,
it still
it-
a struggle immediately?
It'll
now?
always be a struggle. And that's just the way it is. I mean, I know that we come out, we start fast, and we have a couple of guys playing really well. You don't think I'm concerned about, man, we got to start working on retention now. That's the truth. Why? Because somebody out there is breaking the rules, calling the kids, whoever the representative, and say, hey, yeah, I got a chance to watch your guy. I mean, it's going to happen. And it's just, for whatever reason, people don't want to do the right thing. And I'm a little bitter about it, because I just, I believe in the rules. I mean, we have a 20.5 cap for a reason. We want to see it stay level, and we want to see everybody compete on the same level. Maybe it's a little altruistic, but that's okay. That's how I feel.
Do you see any way to legislate that poaching?
I'd love to see it legislated. I'd love to see the NCAA gain some teeth from somewhere. You know, whether it's some sort of congressional edict or presidential edict that says, "Hey, look, we're gonna grant antitrust. You guys form a trade association to represent the student body, okay, and then come to an agreement and go from there." I mean, in the NFL, when we went on strike in 1987, we were a union. We decertified as a union, became a trade association, which allowed that body to negotiate on our behalf. And what happened was eventually we came to this salary cap, and it was worked out with the Players Association and the ownership and the commissioner's office. And there's harmony. Why? Because they understand it and they get it. And because of that, you've seen the salaries just continue to grow exponentially. And that's what's happening right now. We could do the same thing, but we could control it with rules. Right now, there's not a lot of rules. You know, you open up 2 portals. Why do you have 2 portals? There should only be 1 free agency period. And that's, you know, from my opinion. Again, I'm speaking strictly in my opinion. This is nobody else's opinion. This is mine.
There's a recent change in the marketing department administration.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that leave you guys as far as controlling the process and doing what's in best interest of the football program rather than what a bureaucrat thinks?
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're trying to do, is what's in the best interest of our football program. You know, we've talked about doing different ideas. We've got some plans that we're working on currently. You know, we're going to try and increase our exposure to our fan base, our alums, our donors, our student body. We're going to reach out to other entities to try and see if we got people that are interested. We're going to try and engage with people outside of the university as well. I mean, these are all things that when we found out about it, I gathered a group of us. We came together, we had a meeting, and then we talked about what potential we're going to need to do. And then when we found out for sure, we found out who we're going to be working with, and we started working with them as well, share those ideas that we have, and we are trying to do those things now. I mean, I know we got 2 weeks. The nice thing is, you know, my pure focus isn't on the football field 100%. What I've done is I've come in, I've taken all this stuff that I've just talked about, and I've taken it. So that's what my focus is. I'm here to support football. I'm here to put sources, revenue sources, resources in coaches' back pockets, so that if there's something he needs, we can try and put together and get it going for everybody. That's what I'm doing. So for him, he can have his sole focus on what goes on the football field, what's going on in the classrooms.
Is there somebody currently in place that can help you execute your plans right now?
Yes, we're working with them right now. And as we get further on, we'll continue, and we're going to do our best.
Any plans for the initial season opener against Texas Southern as far as ticket giveaways or?
We're working on everything we can right now as far as ticketing.
Yet.
Nothing I can get really specific with, other than know that we are trying to find some partnerships to work with some people to create some opportunities for some people who can't get to the games.
Has no charge for students, or at least freshmen, been discussed at all?
We're working through a lot of ideas and options.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Yes.
Justin has said he wants to continue the walk-on thing even after the grandfathering is done. Do you agree with that?
I do, 100%. Because if we didn't have that type of program, Scott Fujita doesn't have the career he has. I mean, I go down the list. There's a list of guys that we talked about it the other day, that walked on. And if there's never that opportunity to do that, you don't find those guys. And that's one of the things that we want to continue. And we talked about that expressly, because of the potential of finding that one young man that hasn't matured physically yet. And now all of a sudden he has, but he has nowhere to play. So we want to do that.
That cuts down your number of scholarship.
It's okay. We're okay with that, because again, if you think about it, the very bottom end of your scholarships are guys that could have or couldn't have been walk-ons. So we feel that we have that situation.
All right. That's good.
That's right.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.